Looking back on the last few years, I would say there's times where I was in a really desperate place. I went into hospital to have surgery on a disc, and there was a complication during surgery where they clipped the spinal cord on the way out in the lower back, and that's caused some permanent nerve damage to the nerves that feed the bladder, the bowels and the legs and the feet. I lost a lot of my mobility. I was confined to a bed. I had to have a lot of physio just to get back walking again. Some of the longer term impacts started to show a few years after the surgery, in particular the impact on the bowels and the bladder. I didn't want to go out socialising. The thought of sitting with a group of people in a restaurant, which we love to do, work in a small closed office environment was really difficult, and in the home as well. So it was starting to impact on every part of what I do in my day-to-day life. I spoke to a number of people that specialise in back and spinal type injuries with the NHS and privately. None of them were able to identify what the problem was or come up with a solution. And it was only when I went for an annual Bupa test where the nurse that did that referred me to the Walton Centre. When Professor Young identified what the problem was, it was a pivotal moment for me. It gave me hope. It's a moment in my life that I'll never forget that. It was a huge turning point, or it was the start of being able to turn my life around. There's that many things that I've had to change in my lifestyle. There's that many things I've stopped doing, rightly or wrongly, that the thought of being able to do all the normal things at home, at work and out socially was a fantastic thought, to be quite honest with you. I didn't think I'd ever get there. Professor Young very kindly wrote to my GP to say that this gentleman could really do with this product to help his condition. The GP readily agreed to put it on prescription for a trial for a month. And when I received my first pack, it was mixed feelings, because I was reading the instructions and it all felt a bit counterintuitive. It's a product that I never thought I'd have to use. I've no doubt its effectiveness, but it just seemed a bit of a strange thing to do. So I was just a little bit concerned, would it work and how would it fit into my day-to-day routine? Within days, I'd got used to using the product. I wasn't frightened of it. I wasn't anxious about it. The impact that it had in improving the symptoms that I had was astonishing, to be quite honest with you. It made such a big difference so quickly. Until I reflected back, I probably didn't think about how this had impacted on me mentally, confidence, the anxiety that I suffered. I think when you're in the middle of that, you don't realise what you're going through. But starting to come out of it, when I look back, that was one of the biggest improvements in my lifestyle, really. And to be honest, the family commented as well, and close friends. I somehow felt and seemed and looked a bit different in a good way. I think because the Quifora product has taken away the clinical side of the problem, it's dealt with that, it's allowed me to move on emotionally. And where I was very anxious and got quite depressed, I'm not that person anymore. I think it's hugely important that people that suffered something's happened to them that's resulted in the condition that I've been suffering with, to be able to know that there is some help out there is a product that can help you deal with that. Companies like McGregor and companies like Quifora can play a huge part working with the medical profession to make sure that help gets to the right people at the right time. Along this journey, there's been a lot of people that have been there for me and have made a huge difference. You know, my wife and my family have been there through the most difficult times. Staff at the Walton Centre were so understanding, and I took a huge step after I'd been to see the guys at the Walton Centre, and then picking up with Quifora. They've been there just to help me make sure that that product can become a normal part of my daily routine. I would say that everything has got better. I've gone through the getting better, and I think I'm there now. It's as good as it's ever going to be. And it's a place that 5 years ago I thought I'd never get to.